information. I'm Rebecca Muller. My two collaborators are Harriet Diamond and Mary Bernstein, and they both had to leave early for different reasons. One of them got sick and the other had to go to a memorial service. So here I am. And it's an outgrowth of a large installation, indoor installation we did last fall in Western Mass in Northampton, and the title of the installation was Bridges to Cross / Bridges to Burn. That will have more meaning and significance if you go and see the indoor installation, which is at the Fine Arts Work Center. But what interested us about applying to appearances was that we really wanted to, we've been planning on developing this as an outdoor installation because we wanted to see what would happen when we brought this material outdoors. If you look at that gray material down there, that's sort of cement-like looking, a lot of the combined material that we use, this is just a small percentage of it, was very industrial looking, cement-like girders, and then these kind of slightly decaying, eroded mesh structures. How we work is we really combine our different individual ways of working, and I work a lot in reclaimed material. I use wire mesh often, a lot of it found, or and a grid structure as a kind of anchoring device. And I work a lot with material like mesh that you can, that sort of easily takes on an ephemeral quality. You know, you can see in front of, inside, and beyond simultaneously. It ended up that mostly that material got used out here, with the exception of there's some another motif we use is these constructed mesh balls that kind of get rolled up like a snowball, collecting the debris of everything in its pathway. And then Harriet's work has very much, she does a lot of clay and dioramas, often on political and social issues, and but she has made the figures that we use in all these installations, and often they're, you know, that you can recognize gender, and they're very gestural. And you don't notice this motif as much in this setting, but in the original installation, you'd come across about 10 or so clusters of the three of us. And so I just there are the three of us having lunch on the moss. And well, I guess the only other thing I want to say is that the earlier, it's pretty safe if he's welcome to touch it. The earlier installation that we did, it was a very large open interior space that we made this for, we composed it for, and so we really wanted to see what would happen if we composed on site, and what would happen if we brought it outdoors. And this material transformed from being very ominous, almost like a dystopian feeling of the, you know, the end of the world, and very much you got a sense of, like, you know, anxiety and fear. And what really, you know, we've been talking a lot all week because it's been great fun to work here in very improvisationally. And one of the things that also interests me is that sort of that borderline between the organic and the mechanical, and it really, that tension and intersection really came alive out here. That, you know, almost without even recognizing, the slanted columns mimic the you know, limbs or trunks that lean over, and, you know, we couldn't have planned the fact that the scale of the columns were about the diameter of the trees. And then finally, what really interests us about the figures is that what it enables us to do is it kind of gives a frame of reference for the viewer, so you begin to see the elements that the figures are placed around in relationship to as something you know, magnificently larger than life, you know, really monumental. It gives you a sense of an imagined scale that you, the viewer, has walked into, and we really recognize that they're reference points of how to read that. And again, you'll have a chance to see some of the styrofoam sort of girders and some more figures, and we ran out of the mesh, so there's not as much mesh in the indoor installation, but that's over on Pearl Street at the Fine Arts Work Center. Yeah.